my tongue is tingling. I think the feeling's going away. I can't feel my tongue. No, I really can't. No, Denise, I can't feel my tongue, bro. You need to try this.
As a Hong Konger, I'm confronted with the duplicity of being a creative in a market full of opportunity, but with little structure to support it. Hong Kong is a vexing place. It's a globalized financial and cultural center like New York or London, but unlike those cities, it lacks on the cultural front. The underground creative industry is young. It's far removed from the fine art and luxury arenas Hong Kong has become renowned for. The city's imagination is often limited by a cultural attachment to convenience at the expense of passion, the overwhelming problem of monstrous rents and archaic systems to navigate. And yet, artists are fighting, and optimism remains. Many individuals are working towards unlocking the city's full creative potential. In this new series, titled Equidistant, we connect an international act with a local artist for a night out to discuss the differences and similarities in their creative environments. Creativity improves as it's practiced, but there are certainly external factors that can make an artist's journey easier, and we want to understand them. The specific details of the environments artists grow in nurture different kinds of talent. But in the end, every maker is drawing close to their own personal visions of accomplishment, whatever that looks like. This series investigates the kinds of journeys possible, both in Hong Kong and abroad.
Like, I've been making money from music for about 3 years. I don't have to do anything else.
This is perfect.
Yeah, see, I mean,
like what music in Hong Kong is like you are dreaming.
Fotan Laiki is a young, talented artist making waves in Hong Kong. She's bold, given her prominence was accelerated after releasing a music video featuring well-known rapper Young Queens. She's been scorned by local media, called a Fai Ching, the stereotypical dropkick youth without a goal for the future. And she doesn't fit into any easily prescribed boxes. None of this is unusual for a performer courting controversy, but in Hong Kong, the combination really makes her stand out.
If you're too weak, you can't fucking do it. Yeah, you have to make sure, like, you have to make the decision. If you choose this, you gotta go. You can't go back.
Laiki's story is representative of the growing dissent that many Hong Kong youths feel. This generation of young people were in their last year of high school when the 2014 umbrella movement was in full swing. They've had a taste of what it's like to desire change and put those desires into action. But 3.5 years later, leaders continue to pretend like everything's fine while the system is cracking, resulting in this growing dissent that has the potential to result in rebellion. How did Laiki turn to hip-hop in a place where hip-hop culture, if not completely absent, for sure is not modeled?
High school, and actually I have 2 years that I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I just keep working part-time jobs, do whatever I can to make money, but I think it's not working for me.
Over dinner at Happy Paradise, run by Mei Chow, Asia's best female chef and herself a Hong Kong icon, I got to understand the young Cantonese maverick's thinking a little better. Laiki explained her feelings towards societal expectations.
After Occupies, I really try to live my life, experience all the things in Hong Kong, really start in the bottom. It's not you study art and you only do art at your home. You have to go out to see the world, what is going on. Otherwise, yeah, it's pointless. What should girls do? Hong Kong or most of the place is people just think girls have to be a wife, have to marry a good man, and Yeah, I think this is bullshit to me. Yeah, I think like I'm not happy with this.
Hong Kong still largely defines success by material wealth and corporate ascension. If you've not worked at one of the big 5 accounting firms and bought a flat, then the chances are that you've failed in a lot of Hong Kong eyes. Laiki wasn't satisfied, though, with following this typical route to success.
I didn't finish my university and I just dropped out and come to the society, and I'm trying so hard to survive, but I think it's like after 2 years I think it's not worth it. And then I would think, why not I just do something by my own? It's just for myself, it's not working for others, because it never ends.
Called the accidental star of Hong Kong's lost generation by Still Loud's Kylie Lee, Laiki became a public figure when young queens reached out to her to perform with him at Clockenflap. Young queens could see Laiki's cult following and asked that she join him because his set time clashed with Iceland artist Sigur Rós. It prompted the colloquial reference to the performance as Fotan versus Iceland. She then appeared in Young Queens' music video, which further cemented her status as a star of the underground Hong Kong music scene. I wanted to know how Laiki had responded to this abrupt attention. Did she feel like she was now one of Hong Kong's leading artists?
My first song, Fotan Laiki, is my first work to rap. So in my stand-up, I'm not aimed that I can be a professional artist in these 2 years, but I'm still working out, like learning, doing it. Just the beginning to me.
She's not at a point yet where she's thinking about how others might seek to emulate her or her blasé attitudes towards the rules. Laiki is focused on knowing what's true to her and making sure she doesn't sway from that path. But in pointing out to the upcoming talent that by default her prominence will result in imitation, she rephrases.
Just wish more people like me to do what they really want to do. And like, I think different people have their own goods, so they just have to show it. And then, like, if there is like 100 people can do something like me, like show their personality, then I think it will be more fun, more interesting.
Laiki might not think of herself as someone to look up to, but she does see the value of individuality. She wants Hong Kongers to exhibit their uniqueness more. When asked whether she has the ability to change Hong Kong's creative scene, Laiki definitely has an idea about what needs to get done. She's just not entirely sure on the specific steps to get there.
I have to do more good, to try to help them, to try to find more opportunity for everything. For my friends, for my crowd, for my scenes. Yeah, like mostly it's for my friend, the youth, yeah. Because I think the youth is really powerful. They have their own mind, their own things. You gotta find your own thing. You gotta find your own things that you wanna learn, you wanna be. Like, fuck the standard, yeah.
London has no shortage of musical talent, which isn't surprising, given the mix of cultures and sounds that represent the diversity that London embraces and is famous for. Back in March, London Mayor Sadiq Khan announced a £1 million micro grant program. The program aims to bring bright ideas to life by supporting creativity in all of the capital's communities. It also intends to highlight emerging talent and young women in the music industry. One of those talents is Miss Banks. A woman with formidable full flow and at the forefront of a new era of female MCs emerging from the UK. She's just landed from London to perform at Sonar, the electronic music festival, incepted in Barcelona in 1994 and now in its second year in Asia. She joins Laiki and I at dinner the night before both artists are to perform at Sonar.
People prepare really big, really quick, and some people take it slower. So some people probably feel like I should be bigger, but I think it's happening all in due time. I'm just taking my time with it. I know like my path might be easier than some, but like trust me, coming from where I come from in London, like to be in Hong Kong for a show is absurd. Like people don't get it. Like some of my friends are even like crazy excited, like oh my god, and some of my friends are just like acting like it's nothing because they feel like oh I should be here already, and I'm like you lot don't know this is a massive deal.
Banks comes from a rich talent pool. Britain's grime, rap, and Afrobeat scenes have been categorically on the up and went global in 2017. As did Banks. From touring with Cardi B to having Nicki Minaj retweet her lyrics, the South London rapper is on the precipice of making her own brand internationally known. Unlike Laiki, Banks has a thriving community of people to bounce ideas off and to collaborate with.
In the UK, we've got a few that are doing really big stuff. So we've got Lady Leisha.
I don't know about like London scene.
Yeah. But a lot of the girls in London don't only do grime. So the girls in actually not even in London, let's just say in the UK, they're doing grime, they're doing trap, it's melodic. Like Lady Leisha's like grime and trap. Got Steph London, she's got like a dancehall Jamaican reggae vibe. There's Nadia Rose, she's just a bit more like hip hop, playful, yeah. Even IMDb kind of plays like a rapper, but she sings with it. She's singing rapper, yeah. And she's like trappy, but she does melody, so there's so much sound in the UK.
Laiki is convinced there isn't anything of that variety or scale in Hong Kong.
I think it's like very different because you guys have a very like major scenes, but in Hong Kong it's like there is nothing.
So what's the main type of genre people listen to over here?
Now it's trap, like most popular, but most of the people still listening like popular songs from Hong Kong. They don't really listen to outside like international. It's like so tiny people who listen to something international, like only Jay or maybe like Travis Scott,
Like the actual commercial artists.
yeah. So like people go explore the music.
Who would you say is your biggest rapper in Hong Kong?
Sorry?
The biggest rapper? And even females, any big female rappers here?
Not at all.
Her questions made me wonder what the perception of Hong Kong's hip-hop scene was like from the outside. Did people perceive Hong Kong's hip-hop scene to be strong here?
And I feel like it's got maybe strong supporters, but I don't know any of the artists. I was even asked on the interview before I came. I was like, I just want to find out and see. But when I think of Asia, I just think of food, which is bad. But I do. I think of food, but I want to see what the music culture is like out here. And everyone that's performed out here from London, like Stormzy, Lady Leisha, AJ Tracy, they all said it's amazing. So I can't wait to see what's going to be like. It seems like you guys got a lot of grime fans as well. Yeah, you like grime? Yeah. Perfect.
I recounted to Banks the thorny environments that venue owners and music presenters deal with in Hong Kong. Clubs that play specific music genres like trap, chillwave, grime, they rarely find enough clientele to sustain themselves. Though Hong Kong's known for being a party town, the clubs that have stuck around tend to be those that serve bottles of champagne with sparklers alongside remixed top 40 tracks. While outside acts like the Chainsmokers, Ariana Grande, Bruno Mars love performing here because there are plenty of fans hungry for overseas mainstream music, homegrown talent doesn't get as much light as deserved.
We don't even have place to perform. We don't even have the place to listen to the music.
Laiki and Banks began to brainstorm, identifying where the weak spots were in Hong Kong's music fabric and how to overcome them. create the opportunities, build the community, make a way for the next wave of talent. More than anyone, this is crucial for the little girls in Hong Kong that want to be rappers but don't even know it yet.
You can only go to China if you want to kind of do it any more bigger.
Yeah, even China is like more people who listen to hip hop, trap, like everything.
If you do it big, you're going to help the next little girl that grows up in Hong Kong that wants to be a rapper. You help the next generation.
Yes.
Because another young girl, there might be a girl right now, she's 11 years old, she doesn't even know she wants to be a rapper, but she might want to be in the next 10 years. And if you don't break through, there's a chance she might not have a career.
It's going to stay like that. Like, Hong Kong will always stay.
The status quo will continue to flourish.
I'm building up the whole thing, step by step.
Throughout the conversation, Laike's perspective has developed, and she realizes her only option is more action.
Like the only thing I can do is like music and get more things from people, and then I can go out, like perform, and then see others' culture and things, like to inspire me.
It's known that Laike got her come up when a friend, a male artist, pulled her on stage and literally gave her a platform. I wondered if the support was there in London as it was here in Hong Kong.
Do men support women in the UK music industry?
Yeah, they do, but
Especially
like,
they
fancy you.
that's the thing. That's the thing.
You get even more.
That's the thing, and that's the problem.
You get everything.
That's the thing, and that's the problem. No, it's the problem because then it's
I hate
like
that. I hate
the two
that.
guys can be work with each other, support each other, and it's like we come together and it's like, oh, you're my bro, we're bros. And then when you get invited to a session, it's like, oh, you're pretty.
Yeah, you're
and
nice.
then maybe your hand ends up on my leg. That's crazy. And then maybe if I'm not attracted to you, I'm not going to help you, but I think you're talented. Like, how does that work? Because then now every time I get an opportunity, I also feel like I owe you something. When it should be like a beneficial exchange. You're working with me because you think I'm talented, I'm working with you because I think you're good, and I feel like we can help each other take you to a new level. And then like even another time, a guy we went to party with him, and he's like an entourage of a big producer, and he wanted me to stay with him. So he started like promising me all this stuff like, oh, I could get you here, I could do this for you, and I was just like, wow.
And imagine you was
So you think I'm gonna stay with you to get further in my career? And a lot of women still believe that that's the way it goes. Like when certain women see girls thriving in the UK, they're like, oh, who did she sleep with?
Yeah,
and we're like, no one.
It's automatic.
It's sad.
With the current social consciousness elevating as it is in many parts of the world, my feeling is that standards and power structures are slowly starting to change.
I've had guys that I'm begging them for a collaboration and I can't get it, but they're calling me 4 in the morning. Like, oh, where are you? Oh, I want to chill.
And the fact that you don't go, right?
That's the way to kind of change it for me. I'm not judging the girls like who do, because they might feel the pressure and not see it any other way. But in the same breath, if I done certain things to get to where I need to be, I wouldn't feel like, I don't know, I wouldn't value my career as much. I value it so much I don't feel like I need to do like crazy stuff to get there.
We leave Happy Paradise and are headed to one of Asia's best bars, the Pontiac, run by Beckley Franks. She's a force of her own accord and staffs her bar with an all-female team. We arrive and take over the back section of the Pontiac. I go and fetch daiquiris from the bar and return to find Banks and Laike in deep chats about synergy, why Hong Kong's a big deal, and how the universe becomes small. Once we've settled in with our drinks, I pick up the thread of Banks's last comment to Laike. I ask her if she feels like it was her mantle to be a role model for the next generation of female MCs.
And I'm always like, obviously I rep for the girls, but I especially rep for the girls in South London. And especially like the little black girls as well. Like I want them to see me and know that, oh my gosh, she comes from an area near me. Maybe I can be that, because I feel like that's my duty. Because I just want them to know, even if it's not music, whatever you want to do creatively, you can do it.
Banks' school experience is actually quite similar to Laike's. Both didn't opt for the traditional routes to success.
All odds was of college. I lost my job. Anyone could think that I was going to be a bum, but I'm not. A lot of people are surprised. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, now I'm in Hong Kong, bitch. You never thought it was going to go that far, did you? Okay. You know what I mean?
As of this moment, Miss Banks may be gathering momentum, but she realizes that she has yet to really reach commercial success, the kind that she can rest easy on. But in speaking to her, it's apparent that the South London rapper would still carry herself in the same way, regardless of financial situation.
Even if I'm broke, I'm still a boss. Like, I carry myself like a boss, like a queen. I don't care. Like, obviously I like nice stuff, but like wherever I grew up hasn't defined me. If anything, it's made me stronger. And it's just like the whole delivery. Like, what I want girls to feel for me when they hear my music is just to feel fierce, feel empowered. Like, you're that girl. No one can talk to you. You're fly. You're popping. That's it.
To me, it sounds like Miss Banks was a persona crafted in the midst of a storm. So in the calm, it's easy to stand tall.
And I feel like when you come from where we come from and you still carry yourself with so much grace and so much strength, even when people tell you, oh, you're not shit or you're not the prettiest or whatever, it always makes you strong. And if you know that from this position, when you get to where you want to be, it's like no one can tell you nothing.
And as for Fotan Laiki?
I just never stop. Yeah, I won't stay here and wait.
If you'd like to hear more stories like this one, and more from the world of creative culture and beyond, check them out at MAEKAN.com. That's MAEKAN.com. Or search for us on your favorite podcast app.
Fly with us, them now, fly with us. In the club, they want flex with us to get next to us, them now flex with us.